it's funny because I played against the Steelers and I threw 6 touchdown passes, but I also threw 2 interceptions. And I came up and my 5 brothers were waiting in your motorhome and said, hey, congratulations, 6 touchdowns. My brother Ray goes, what the hell are you looking at on that 1 interception? I read that from where I was at. I go, Ray, I threw 6 touchdowns. He goes, no, but I know that. But besides that, he would jack me. I'm like, man, I'm going to knock you out.
Jim, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Where are we, first off? Tell people where we are.
We are at Ilio DiPaolo's Italian restaurant. And this is where, to be honest with you, after our home games, a lot of the players, them, would come over here with their families. They would have dinner, eat and everything. And then right from here, they would go to my house for the party afterwards.
Oh, hell yeah.
And that was always fun. But they've been part of the Bills team for many, many years. They take care of the players. They take care of the coaches. And it's just an amazing, great family.
Shout out to Ilio's. These people are amazing. This town is amazing.
Oh, that's why I'm still here.
I know.
People are like, what are you still doing in Buffalo? I said, I take it you haven't been there or you haven't been there for a while because the people here are unbelievable. I mean, it's so blue collar and everybody's down to earth, but that's how I grew up.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up in a family of 6 boys. My dad was a steel worker. He worked in the mills, and that was something I get used to, and I still get used to. Plus, I'm a country boy. Yeah. I mean, I love the woods, and I have my lodge down, south towards Pennsylvania, and in a ski resort. Even though I don't ski, it's in ski resort country, and it's awesome.
I'm gonna come turkey hunting with you.
I love it.
You can do the mouth call. No, nothing necessary. You just.
I used to be a lot better until I had my whole jaw replaced. Now I can't do certain calls anymore.
But that sounded pretty good. I feel like somebody had some Slate in here. That sounded good. Hey, but no, I appreciate you, man. I've known you a while, with my dad and everything, and you just were one of those guys and have always been one of those guys that treats. I mean, I've never seen you treat somebody poorly. Like, you just treat everybody like the same. You're down to earth. I mean, I'm sure you hear that a lot, but I appreciate you, man.
It's how I was brought up.
Yeah.
I mean, my dad was a military man. My mother, she busted her butt raising 6 boys.
Yeah.
And, but that's how I was brought up. I remember the time when I was in pump, pass, and kick when I was 10 years old. I went to Three River Stadium where Steelers used to play. And Terry Bradshaw and L.C. Greenwood were the celebrities there and signed autographs for everybody. And I got one from L.C. Greenwood. My dad looked at it and he said, who's that? And I told him, he said, son, if you ever become somebody, he said, write so kids can read your signature.
Yeah.
He said, be proud of who you are and be proud of your name. And ever since that, I started practicing, and here I am today. It's worth at least 20, 25 cents. Moving up. It's moving up now.
I don't know, man. I don't know about that, but your name goes a long way here. And I mean, it's funny as we sit here and I'm like, what an amazing town. And you're like, that's why I've never left. To think that they told me, and I didn't know this about you, that you didn't want to play here in the beginning.
Not even close. And I did. I mean, I was drafted by the Bills in the first round. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And that's when the USFL came into existence. Right. And I decided to put Buffalo on hold. I went to Houston for 2 years. And then, of course, our team merged in 1986 with the New Jersey Generals. Herschel Walker was the running back. Donald Trump was our owner. And unfortunately, that league folded. And to be honest with you, one of the best decisions I ever made in my life was becoming a Buffalo Bill, because when my agents were negotiating going into the 86 season, now the USFL is gone, where do you want to play? So I wanted to either play in Pittsburgh or play in L.A. I was a big Raiders fan and Steelers fan growing up. And Ralph Wilson, the owner at the time, says, you don't play for the Buffalo Bills, you're not going to play. So I had no choice. And thank God that's how it worked out, because I'm still here. My wife's from here, 2 beautiful daughters, my son in heaven, and I'm loving it.
Well, they love you here, man. It feels like you're a part of the fabric, and like you walk through here, it's like you're a regular guy. You know what I mean? Like they've seen you enough that you stick around and is it fun being a fan of the team?
Yes, I guess. I mean, I've always been, you played here, you pull for them.
Yeah.
I have so many things going on in my life now that even though maybe not quite as the way it used to be, because, of course, being a player, and then, of course, I am still a fan, though. I pull for them. I'm there. I'm screaming. I'm yelling. Away games, I'm yelling at the TV. My daughters decide to go to another room because I'm screaming at the TV. But that's just part of it, and I love it. I love it.
Yeah, so you prefer watching at home?
Yeah, my recliner, with a nice bottle of wine beside me or cold beer, and I do. I mean, I enjoyed still going to the games, but I'm at that age right now where I just don't want to be bothered by anybody. I just want to sit on my nice recliner that I have, my remote control, so I can rewind and say, "What the heck was you looking at on that?" Not Josh, of course.
Yeah, not Josh.
No, that was a backup. Preseason.
Dude, I just got done interviewing Josh, and I think it's so cool that you guys that you're here. You know what I mean? Like that you're here and you know him and you guys run into each other because like he could use you, like you've seen it all.
I don't bother him. Like probably a lot of people do. I get it. I understand. And I always told him, I said, Josh, if you ever want to sit down and talk, if you ever want to go to lunch and have a beer and talk about a game or even before, just let me know. Just give me a call. If I'm here, I'm there for you. So, we haven't done that yet. We haven't had a lot of conversation, but I just was with him, about a month and a half ago. We talked about something else off the side, but he's such a good dude, and he does so much for this community, and he's such a heck of a quarterback.
He's amazing.
He is.
And I think the thing that's unfair to him is he gets compared to Mahomes, and I don't think there's that much of a delta between the two guys, but it's tough being in his conference. It's just one guy in the way. You know what I mean?
Oh, I get it. I mean, I look at what our team is today, and I look at what we have to do to get over the hump.
Yeah.
And you look at the AFC now with all the quarterbacks that they have.
Yes.
Wow. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, back in my day, the AFC also had a bunch of great quarterbacks. I mean, Marino, Elway, Bernie Kosar, Boomer Esiason, Warren Moon. Right. I mean, I could go on and on. There's so many quarterbacks. But now, same way. And the biggest key for me, the way I look at it is, man, we need to get a pass rush, or these are going to be shootouts every week.
Exactly. And the pass rush hopefully comes on this year.
I hope Von Miller comes around again. I mean, what's this, his 15th year?
Yeah, he's getting older, and it's tough coming off an injury, especially when you get older.
I mean, you still hope and pray that he becomes some sort of what he used to be.
Yeah.
But he gives it his all, but we need other guys to step up, and I hope that our defense can do what we need them to do, and that put some pressure on the quarterback and get them to throw it before they're ready.
Yeah, Josh, we're sitting down with him, like I said, and I said I was coming to hang out with you, and obviously the remarks were glowing, like he just loves you. You can see it, and just so much respect. But he said that if you ask Jim, he'd probably tell you I'm not a great texter. I'm not great with the phone.
We won't go there. Kids, that's all they do. They have phones in their hands all the time. Your hand. Come on, man.
Just fucking text back.
Oh, my God.
No, I said, I know some people like you, Josh. And then I asked him, I said, do you think you could, if you and Jim sat down drinking beers, who do you think comes out on top? And he said, Jim now or Jim then? He goes, I think Jim in his prime's got me.
Hands down. There's no doubt. He wouldn't even be able to get in the same room. But, of course, I'm always, going against my brothers. I got 5 brothers.
I know, they keep you sharp.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, my 5 brothers are here this weekend for my golf tournament. We invited you down here, but I guess your bottle was a little empty.
I'm coming next year. I'm going to win the fucking tournament. I'm going to get that buffalo-looking trophy.
Oh, you need a buffalo in your – and it's funny thing is you bring that up because it's interesting. Because when we played in the AFC championship game against your dad, I remember going through the game, and he's like, slow this shit down. And I'm like, and Ken Hurley goes, speed it up.
That's what he told me. I said, hey, I'm interviewing Jim. And he sent me this text. He's like, they claim that I told them to slow the K-gun offense down, but I don't remember saying that.
Of course he does.
He was dazed because y'all were running a play every 15
He was
seconds.
so tired, and so was everybody with play guns. He's like, man, slow this shit down.
Yeah.
And Ken Hurt said, speed it up, speed it up. And, of course, your dad was pretty much all the time full go. Yeah. So we needed to go and know how to just to get him tired.
Yeah. How foreign was that when you guys ran that offense? Like, what was the beginning of the idea that led to that?
I think it was a Cleveland Browns game. We in a playoff game at Cleveland in 1989, I think. And we ran the second half, and we just boom, 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 took it right down the field a bunch of times. So going into the following year, they decided, not right away, but spend a little time doing it. And the best part about it was there were plays that were sent in that I really didn't like and didn't want to run, so I would just change it anyways. And then I started, then when we go to the 2-minute drill, I'd call all the plays.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where we were moving it down the field so quick that Marv said, hey, go with it. So his job security was on the line because he said, take it.
That part about it.
Without a doubt. And Ted Marchabroda was my coordinator. And Frank Reich, of course, was my backup. And the help that I had in the weeks leading up to the game helped me when I was in the game because, I mean, just think about this. You're calling your own plays. So, first down 10, you go, you complete pass. All of a sudden, 40 yards, is second 6. You in your mind got, okay, I got to put everybody in the right formation. Right. You got to do the pass protection. You got to do the play, and then you got to do the snap count. Yeah. You got to do all this within 10 seconds.
Give it to me. Give me like we just lined up. Okay. Take me through your thought process and how many words you have to say to get everybody on the same.
Here we go. So, boom, complete pass. I go, okay, 4. And I would get everybody lined up. That's 4 meant position, 3 receivers to the right, X on the left. I'd say, Kyle, 91 double switch. Everybody would know the play. And then the last thing I would say would be the snap count. Mm-hmm. Noah, Louisville. And I would say all these things, but they always knew what I was doing. And it was, I remember one time we were playing at New England. Fred Smirlitz just got traded to the Patriots, and he thought he knew everything. Mm-hmm. Love Fred to death.
From your team.
Yeah.
And of course, they bring him in the building, and they're like, tell me everything.
Exactly. He's nose guard. Yeah. And so we had a crucial third down. Uh-huh. And I said, guys, listen, I'm going to come up. I'm going to say Noah was his second hut. I'm going to say Noah. I'm going to say a bunch of times. Know that we're going on the third snap. Mm-hmm. I get up there and I, get plays and I'd go, Noah. Fred thinks it's second. I go, hut. Man, he was behind me. Yo, Fred, get on your own side of the ball. You mother, blah, blah, blah.
That's so awesome. This is good. Now, I'm retired. You're retired. It's just 2 guys. You're not giving any secrets away, but like, why was Noah 2? Was it 2 syllables or was it? Because you know how every team comes up with a 1 and 2.
I don't remember the Noah. I remember Louisville because Will Wolford was number 73. Okay. And that was on the third
3.
Zeta was, I think it was Kent Hall. Zeta was a nickname that of course, this was 30-some years ago. I'm trying to remember that.
But statute of limitations.
But yeah, we did all that. And we changed it up every once in a while. We changed it to make sure that teams we played, like a Dolphins or Patriots or something like that, that we changed it up a little bit just so they weren't getting used to it or have somebody to tell them what it is.
Was there a bigger snap jumper than Howie Long?
Yeah. One other one, Who? Joe Klecko.
Oh, Klecko.
Oh, my God. Klecko tells this story, too, and it's so him, so Joe. He said, we got down, we moved the ball down the field, we got first and goal at the 1-yard line. He looked and said, you know what, this is a good time to jump offside.
Yeah, 6 inches.
What are you going to do? Move the ball up 6 inches. He jumped offside. He jacked me up. And of course, he looked and said, how'd that feel, Jimbo? He get penalized 6 inches. Okay, first and goal at the foot line.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. But he's still awesome. I'm glad he's in the Hall of Fame.
I think it was, it's amazing. It seems like a great guy. My dad, I can remember being at a friend's house for a sleepover, and I know I'm supposed to be watching my dad on TV. I'm maybe like, is 91? Was this a game in the snow? The game 90. I'm 5 years old. So I don't know much, but I'm turning on the TV in between playing NHL video game on Sega. And every time I turned on the TV, this dude was jumping off sides. He jumped off sides 5 times in that game.
And the thing about it is he wanted to get to me.
He wanted to kill you.
He wanted, him and everybody else. And Matt Millen says this story, whether it's true or not. Matt said, we came in, what was the other defensive end? Townsend?
Townsend, Greg Townsend.
He says, I'm going to knock that shit out of Kelly second half. And Matt Millen said, don't touch him. Don't piss him off any more than he already did. So it's like,
that's so funny. Good. Who were the guys who were scary?
Defensive line, really? Andre Tippett was. I mean, none of them were scary. I could care less. I mean, I had 5 brothers. People say who are the toughest ones you ever played against. I go, 2 of them are my brothers.
Yeah.
But Andre Tippett was unbelievable. Your dad, of course.
Yeah, Tippett was a beast.
Unbelievable. Joe Klecko, of course. Neil Smith. And Thomas. That's a handful, but there's never the word never was scary.
Charles Haley wouldn't scare you a little bit, like just running into him. Charles Haley. They said he was a different.
He was just a goofball.
He was a goofball.
Still is.
Yeah,
a good goofball at that.
So you still like. This is the one thing I've talked to my dad about. It felt like back in the day there was an aura of we don't talk to each other, right? After the game or between the game or whatever, like we're not tight. And now it's like everybody's trading jerseys, everybody's buddies, social media, the whole thing. Do you think that thing's overblown? Like, because when I watched The Last Dance, I know it's basketball. The epitome of fuck everybody else but my teammates is Michael Jordan. Yeah. And then I found out he was playing golf with Danny Ainge during the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah.
Oh, gee, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, and I came up to Dad. I said, I thought you said you guys were different back in the day. And my dad's told me a story where Cedric Hartman, you remember him? Yep. Was roommates, I guess, with who's the guy? Joe Green. His dad's favorite player growing up. So Cedric hosted and lived with my dad and hosted Joe for dinner the night before game. And I'm like, you mean to tell me you were having dinner with people from the other team in your house the night before the game? That's fucking wild.
There's no way I would have done that. But after games were over, like me and Dan, we'd always talk. We'd walk in together, whether it was John, Dan, or whoever it was, Boomer. We were all good. I mean, that was back in the day of the quarterback
club, right?
And Brian Nelson's here with us, and he knows all about the quarterback club. But we got together, but it was back when we were all, most of us single. You come to my golf tournament, I'll go to yours, and everybody had golf tournaments. And the thing is, we spent so much time together, we grew on each other. Yeah. We loved it. And we still are really good buds. So it's still a good time. I love it.
Who was the guy you had like an unlikely friendship with on another team?
Not a good relationship?
No, unlikely, that people would be surprised.
I don't know, because we all were so tight.
The quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And it was like for y'all, that was the big, like now you can get at somebody on the phone or social media or trade jerseys, but back in the day it felt like Pro Bowl and quarterback club.
Yeah, you would go there, and the thing is, there was no social media.
Right.
Thank God.
Yeah, right?
I'm sure your dad would say the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But, we all got along. It's weird. When you played, you wanted to rip their head off, and but afterwards, you become best friends. You go have a beer, good, bourbon and on the rocks, and we'll have a little fun, just like you're doing right now.
That's what we're doing, man. No, but I feel like playing in Buffalo and at that time made it even better. So you could just like drama in the building, stayed in house. You guys worked it out probably. Whereas now, like, you can't have a disagreement or something without people knowing about it. It's like you know what I mean?
Totally. And what bums out you more now is you go into a place, you want to have a beer with your buddy or do a shot with your buddy. You got everybody with their cameras on videoing and everything. It's like, really? Come on now. Let's enjoy it for a little bit. But I've come to the conclusion, which I've done many years ago, but when you go out, that's what it is. You should be blessed that people still want your autograph, still people want to talk to you. I get that, but sometimes you want to be just like everybody else and do what you want to do and not have to worry about people.
Well, I always think about like it being cool to play in the 80s because after the game, like, they were telling me you had your pub that you guys like to go to and stuff and maybe Ilio's and that sort of thing, but like, it would be you and the guys and some fans, but it was between everybody that was in the bar.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, one of the main reasons I started having parties at my house is guys were going out, but they were driving downtown. And sometimes they would drive back when they shouldn't have. And I said, I got to do is keep it around the home.
You're like the dad.
The house. Pardon me?
You were like the dad.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Let me get those keys.
Yep. Well, I didn't go that far, but
yeah.
Usually people had family members that would drive into my house.
Yeah.
And, it was awesome. I mean, because I saw what everybody was doing. I thought it would be the best thing to do is to bring everybody together. And it wasn't just for me and my teammates. It was, my teammates, but their families. Say their mom and dad, their brothers and sisters come in. They come in. I bring them over.
Yeah.
And we'd have over 100 people in my basement every single home game, which was awesome.
Well, that's the part of it that's social. I think the NFL's changed a lot too, like physically. And I wonder what you think the biggest difference is. Like the size of the guys obviously different maybe from when you got in the USFL in the beginning. Like these linemen now are huge. But also the way the schedule of a year goes. And my dad used to tell me, hey, y'all fucking came to camp to get in shape. You know, like guys were. That's
funny you said. That's one of Mark's favorite quotes. If you come to camp, you said, don't ever come to camp to get in shape. You come to camp in shape. That was his favorite.
That's
and I
why
agree.
He said slow it down because he wasn't in shape when he came to camp. Y'all motherfuckers were in shape.
Well, probably by that time he's a little tired because that was near the end. And they did very well. We did too because we usually were playing 5 preseason games.
Right.
Because we're playing overseas. We were a couple of games overseas. We were in Canada. So there was a lot of things that we did, but I did it. And the thing is, I learned at an early age that, to work out that, when I was going off to college, my high school football coach, Terry Henry, says, if you plan on going or you think you're going to start, you better start working because the other guys that are going there too, their numbers were retired. They were all state. Right. It's not like they were a third string. Everybody that's going to college on the same team, they were the best at their position when they played in their town and in their state.
And you guys' schedule was way different. I mean, like the 2-a-days were how long?
We had sometimes 3-a-days. I mean, there was a walk through one of them, but 2-a-days. But you have to remember, we ran to no huddle. We ran it in practice. So I knew that our practices were probably only about an hour and a half long. And the best part about this is in between practices.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't do so much because I was never a real big golfer. Bruce and them were golf. And we're training camp. These guys are going to play 9 holes. Yeah. And when you squeeze 18 in, we'll do it. But, but that's just the way it was. But Marv knew that when we were on the field, we were 100% committed to doing what we're supposed to do. So he even said afterwards that we were one of the best practice teams he's ever been around because we stayed focused on what we had to do. And then from there, we do what we had to do.
Have fun and then show up and get ready to work.
And sometimes, bums you out a little because people sometimes, even back then more than anything, said that, you guys didn't win Super because you partied too much. I didn't know why we partied because we won.
Right.
And the reason we did is because we kept winning, and we were a superstitious team. If we were doing something the week before, if we went out on a Thursday or a Friday and we kicked butt that week, we'd go back and do the exact same thing the following. So we did whatever we did the following week to keep doing. We even tried at one time when we played the Redskins in Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They shipped our tables, our chairs for Frank Reich tonight out to Washington, and it didn't help.
Hey, was the Super Bowl like? I played in a Super Bowl. You played in a few Super Bowls, and you were the quarterback of the team. Like, did you have to keep tabs on guys to make sure they didn't wind up missing midweek in New Orleans or something?
No, because they understood how important the game was. We had fun at all the Super Bowls. We changed up each and every year that we went, and nothing ever worked. But you know what? I never had to worry about Bruce or Thurman or any of those guys. When it came Sunday, they were going to be ready to play. Whether they were hungover or not, I don't know. But no, just kidding.
Well, I mean, we have guys, and I wasn't one of them because towards the end of my career, I was like, you know what? I got to slow down on the drinking in season, and that's where you're getting old. And, you got your young guys that'll be out on a Friday night, and some guys can just go out and show up, and it looks like they've been well rested for the last week.
I get that. I can honestly say I never went out partying the night before a game. There's so many people know what it was. I swear to you. So it was Saturday night. My brother Ray, who back in the day looked like me a lot. So he would come in and he'd come across the border and, hey, Jim, can we get your autograph? And just so you can get across the border, he would sign autographs. And he'd go to bars and he'd get all these free drinks because everybody thought he was me. And then one time, I got to tell you, this is a good one. So one time, this was at one of the Super Bowls, a guy came in with a Buffalo Bills leather jacket on, and he went up to my brother Ray and he said, Jim, would you sign my jacket? My brother's like, man, I'm not Jim. He said, oh, come on, man, don't do this. Come on. And the guy bothered him so much, he goes, turn around, I'll sign the damn thing. So he turned around, he wrote Jim Kelly, put G-Y-M. Kelly. And he goes, there. The guy goes, well, was that hard? He goes, no. So he walked away, Ray tells him, he said, let's get the hell out of here.
Hey, how cool is it, though, that you and your brothers are still brothers?
We are the closest family you can possibly get. Me and my 5 brothers, we get along. They never were jealous of me. I've taken them to over 30 Super Bowls. As your dad, he knows that. My high school football coach, I've taken him to 32 Super Bowls. And but I love them. They never were jealous, never asked me for anything. And I love them to death. And the interesting thing is, all my sister-in-laws get along too.
Oh, really?
Which is pretty cool. All brothers and all sister-in-laws all get along. So, I'm so blessed because I remember when I needed their help when I was, during the summer in college. I'd come to Richmond, Virginia. That's where they lived, a couple of them. And they would take care of me, and I would work out, and they would come and work out with me. And, of course, I had my jobs, too, doing it, but they'd work out with me every single day.
Who helps you the most get through the tough years and tough moments?
Well, I have to say my brothers, but my high school football coach, Terry Henry. He is a man that I still love to death. He helped me become the man I am. Even though my father was there every day pushing us, but he's the one that really set me straight because where I came from, I was the best in basketball, football, all sports. He's one of the guys said, when you go off to college, just remember one thing, the same guys, as I stated before, these guys are the best at their position. If you want to get that starting job, you got to work at it. And of course, I work harder than anybody, but of course, I finally got my starting position after beating Penn State as a freshman in Penn State when Coach Schnellenberger told me 4 hours before the game that I was starting.
Man,
first thing I did was I excused myself and I went and threw up. But
I hear Josh pukes before.
Oh, games. It was I did that for every high school game.
Yeah. I say this because I know you've been asked a million times about it. I think you guys are one of the best teams ever. I really do. I just got tremendous respect for a team that can get there that many times. And, it's kind of crazy that you're only measured by the one thing. But I do feel like football fans respect the fuck out of you. And
the thing is, the further when you are removed from those games, the more people realize what we accomplished. Even though back in the day, after losing 3, people were like, oh, no, not the Buffalo Bills again. And our motto was, let's piss everybody off. Let's go back for 4. And we did. Even though we didn't win, the camaraderie we had in that locker room, the closest that we had, we would never been able to do that if we didn't have great leaders, not only in our locker room, but as a head coach of Marv Levy. He was amazing. He knew how to handle us. He knew what strings to pull. And, of course, we knew how much we respected him. And even though we didn't win any, you know what? It sucks. Of course, I would love to have that feeling like your dad has had, and you've had. And,
but for me, it's luck. Like, I'm in the right place, right time. You're the quarterback of the Bills. You got them there 4 times, and a kicker missed a kick, and there's a bunch of other things, as you know, that happen in football games. Like, I'm 39. You're a fucking Hall of Famer, but from this 39-year-old to this 64-year-old Hall of Famer, I got to tell you, I never thought, oh, they weren't good enough. It's just I know how hard it is.
Yeah. One play, you won't know.
It takes everything breaking right. Some
Without
things
doubt.
are out of control.
And that's one of the things I say is that 1 or 2 plays during the course of a ball game, not 5 or 6, 5 or 6, you're not going to win. But 1 or 2 players during the course of the ball game can change the outcome or totally change the flow of the game. And a couple of the games, that's exactly what happened to us. But you know what? I don't sit here and worry about it or think about it anymore. I don't. The only time I really ever think about it is around Super Bowl, when they're playing it on TV and I change the channel, or when I go. But it's never gotten to a point where I sit there and cry over, because it is what it is. I've still have not watched one of the Super Bowls I played in.
Really?
No. I said I was going to watch it with my son someday, and unfortunately he's in heaven, so I never got that chance. And
You mentioned your son, and just everything you've been through, man. You are truly, not blowing smoke, one of these people that, like, I don't know if it's because you're Irish, like my dad alluded to on FaceTime a minute ago, or like what it is, but like he said, this motherfucker is hard to kill. and I just think you're hard to get down. Like you don't seem to me, and I know people privately might get sad every once in a while about something, but like you have handled everything with your chin high.
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
Well, early on, it came from, my brothers were in the stands yelling at me to get up. Don't let them know they hurt you. And I got from there. But after I've been through, all this stuff with my son, and then all this stuff, with my battle with cancer, it's a good Lord. I'm huge Christian now. It took me a while to realize that I'm not going anywhere unless I change my life, because, I was one of those guys that love to have fun, and I still do, but it's different fun now.
Yeah.
And I have a very forgiving wife, and I have 2 beautiful daughters. And you know what? I just thank God every day, because now I understand why He put me through all that early on in my life, is to prepare me for what I'm doing now. I'm traveling the country speaking, and I've been a very blessed man. My motto now is, I might have lost 4 Super Bowls, but I kicked cancer's ass 4 times.
Yes, you did. And that speech at the ESPYs, man, that was amazing. I was really moved by that. And knowing you, man, I mean, you put yourself in your shoes, and you're thinking, hey, like, what if I got this news? Like, how would I react? And I look at you, and I wonder if there was more panic than you let on, or
I never, to be honest with you, I never let it bother me. Now, I swear to you, I am at the thing, if good Lord decides tomorrow's my day, I'm going out with a smile on my face. There's no doubt about it. He's the only one who knows our days. So for me, I enjoy life, what I'm doing now. I travel. I'm able to still go hunting and fishing and hiking and all that stuff, which I still love to do. Not so much the hiking part anymore. But other than that, everything so far is I'm very blessed. I have 2 beautiful daughters. One is married to a big man. He's 6'6", 264, Milwaukee Brewers draft pick, baseball. And, but I am blessed to have the wife that I have and the family, and living here in Buffalo. I can't say any more about it, because I'm truly blessed.
You've led an amazing life. I mean, really, an amazing life. You think about it. The one thing I want to ask you about the Super Bowl was, and as a teammate and somebody who I'm always empathetic to, like, we're all doing the best fucking job we can. Like, nobody fucks up on purpose. Scott Norwood. Yeah. It's like, we always give kickers shit, but I wouldn't want to be a kicker.
No.
And I kind of wonder, just honestly, like, was there ever a moment where y'all were mad, and then, like, when did you get over that and say, hey, listen, the guy was trying to do his job, he missed a kick?
Well, it wasn't that we were mad. Of course we're mad we missed it.
Yeah.
But never mad at Scott. He's the one that got us there. I mean, he made a couple field goals during the course of the year to put us in a position. Not one time have I ever looked at Scott was mad at him for missing that. I mean, the kid, I should say kid. The guy is such an unbelievable, down-to-earth guy, and no, not one time I ever thought.
So
about
you guys
that.
support him and check in, and
without a doubt. I mean, he comes to my golf tournament.
That's great.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
We enjoy it. We have fun amongst each other, and the thing is, when you look back at it, we smile. And there's people like a Warren Moon, good example, one of the great quarterbacks of all time. He's never even been to a Super Bowl,
right?
And there's other people that could say the same thing. Many, Eric Dickerson.
Yeah. I
mean, there's guys that you as a kid dream that you'll make it to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Make it to the NFL, let alone going to the Super Bowl. But I've been blessed because I had a lot of great players around me. Yeah. I mean, I had on offense, I had Hall of Fame running back, 2 wide receivers, James Lofton and Andre Reed. Yeah. And on defense, Bruce Smith. And if we would have won a couple of those, Darryl Talley, without a doubt, would be in the Hall of Fame.
Yes,
right now.
and that's the one thing about the Hall that, like, it's tough to say, like, you're a Hall of Famer whether you won them or didn't win them. But, like, there's some guys that do get the bump because they win one or don't win one. And it's tough. There's some guys that probably should be in.
Yep,
I agree. Might not get the call.
Yeah, well, totally. And that's a good example. You ask Dan Marino, who one of the toughest guys he ever played against, he'll say Darryl Talley.
Yeah.
I mean, Darryl was our leader on defense. He was everywhere. He did what he's supposed to. It was pretty cool.
I asked Josh this earlier, and he acted like he had to think about it for 3 seconds, but then he had an answer right away. What's the best throw you ever made in your career?
Oh boy. The best throw, man, there's so many. I mean, there's a lot of great throws.
It's good to have to think about this.
Yeah. And
guys like me, I'll be like, yeah, I remember the sack.
It's funny because I played against the Steelers and I threw 6 touchdown passes, but I also threw 2 interceptions. And I came up and my 5 brothers were waiting in your motorhome and said, hey, congratulations, 6 touchdowns. My brother Ray goes, what the hell were you looking at on that 1 interception? I read that from where I was at. I go, Ray, I threw 6 touchdowns. He goes, no, but I know that. But besides that, he would jack me. I'm like, man, I'm going to knock you out.
That's what brothers are for. Both things.
All good. I love it.
The biggest throw, though, like in a big moment.
You know what? Biggest throw. There's a couple that when I get knocked down, you stumble, you get the ball, or you get tripped up a little bit, you get your thing, you throw another Pete Metzlar's. I remember early on in my career, it might have been my first start ever, and he jumped up almost like the identical one that Joe Montana threw.
Dwight.
Dwight Clark, yep. And Andre Reed, I mean, I remember throwing one to Thurman. He dove, and he was parallel to the ground. He was able to catch it. But you know what? You throw as much as what do you get? Well, even nowadays they throw so much. The game is all about passing. But
what do you think you would have done with RPOs and stuff? Like the way the game is today. Is there anything you watch in today's game that you're like, I wish I had that?
No, because I can't run. I didn't run back then, and I'm not running now. But back then, I just prayed for, and you talk Marino, probably same way Bernie Kosar, that we knew where our tackles were. If we were able to step up in the pocket and throw one deep, I remember throwing a bomb to James Lofton. I uncorked one about 65 yards in the air, and he ran right under. It might have been against the Raiders, but I don't know if it was a championship game. We played them again in one of the coldest games ever.
I heard about this one.
35 below zero wind chill.
Is that one of the coldest games you played in?
Oh, yeah. I played a couple against them. One against the Jets. I think the wind chill was like 35, 40 below zero, and it was cold. I don't care what they say. And they say, did you wear a short sleeve? I go, what are you, freaking nuts? I'm smart. I'm a quarterback. I ain't wear. I'm making sure I have a couple nice white, nice, warm jersey to put underneath those pads. There ain't no way I'm wearing short sleeves.
Did you prefer indoor or outdoor, like the AstroTurf? Because I bet getting slammed on that damn AstroTurf had to be the worst.
And you said AstroTurf because below the AstroTurf was concrete. And that I probably would have played a couple more years because I ended my career with a concussion and against Jacksonville, and it was tough. I'd rather play in grass, of course. But if you had to play indoors, of course indoors. Of course, the Colts we played against, when we played there, that was beautiful. I loved it. What's that?
I like outside.
Oh, you're a defensive player.
Because I want to slow y'all down.
Exactly. And that's what, when you get muddy, who cares? For quarterback, you got to stay clean.
Yeah. But it's an advantage up here. People come up here, they're intimidated by the weather. You lose that if you go inside. And that's why I think when they're building that new stadium, it's going to be outside, but with the fans get a little bit more covered.
And everybody's like, what do you think? I go, what do you think? I'm outside for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think I guarantee all the Miami Dolphin fans were saying, get the dome.
Exactly. So I looked up the Bills Mafia earlier on Google to try to see when they it started being called the Bills Mafia. And they said 2011. That's got to be bullshit or no?
Boy, I don't know, but I know it wasn't the Bills Mafia when I played.
Yeah, what was it? What'd y'all call them? Just those crazy
Bills fans.
Yeah.
I mean, there was nothing, but I love it. I really love the name Bill's Mafia. Because when I think of Mafia, you think of, back in the old days, Mafia in New York City and all those things. And you got to love all that. And then when they started it, it just took over.
Yeah.
And now everybody loves it. I love it.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing they do? Is it the tables or something else?
No, the tables are the worst thing you can do. A bunch of wackadoos. They had way too many shots of Crown Royal and probably way too many beers. Some of you have asked me if I would ever do it. I go, hell no.
I'm going to do it when I come back up for a game.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. You got to give me some advice.
How much if I give you some drinks, which you're going to need?
That's good. So 2011, we're not sure if that's when it started. The one thing I wanted to ask you was, and we were talking about it offline, but like in those Super Bowls, you got an early look at Bill Belichick. Did y'all know who he was?
I'm sure we probably did.
But it wasn't like, wow, they got this young
heck no.
They have LT.
Yeah, I know. They all say because they held us to 19 points in the Super Bowl 25. We couldn't tackle on defense. Yeah. I mean, they broke a couple tackles that made them go, we only had the ball, I think, 19 minutes of that game. They had it for 41. We had 19, I think it was. I remember going into the locker room, we didn't take a snap for I ain't lying, 8-9 minutes left. And then we kicked off to him, and then he drove it down the field again. So we were hardly on the field, and we did what we had to do. We moved on to the end of the game to kick to win the game, and unfortunately we all know that the kick was no good. But, but I'll give him credit. He was a hell of a coach.
Yeah, I mean, he turned out to be one of, if not the greatest
thanks
ever.
Thanks to Tom Brady. What?
Yeah, thanks to Tom Brady. What? Hey, man, the last question for you. Your favorite Buffalo Bills player right now, or a couple of them that are not named Josh Allen. Who do you really enjoy watching?
Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Well, I liked Diggs before he left, but Vaughn, because he's a hunter. He likes to hunt. I like Vaughn. Milano, of course.
Oh, he's on
Russo, he's part of the U.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to have that. And, I mean, there's nowadays they come and go so many times. But I'd have to say right now, I don't know Kincaid very well. I know Dawson Knox. I think he's really good, great guy, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But I'm not over there a lot.
Yeah.
To really get to know everybody, including coaches. I mean, I respect McDermott and what he's doing and what they're about right now. But there's a few guys that I did a chance to talk to, but other than that, I have so many things going on in my life with my son's foundation, my Kelly for Kids, my speaking engagements, and of course, I got to put in there my turkey hunts, my deer hunts, my elk hunts with a bow, and we have a little fun. So you got to have your fun times too. I think I've earned that right to enjoy some of it, and me and my wife love to travel. We're going hopefully back to Italy for the third time with our kids.
That's awesome.
They're like, Dad, you're not going without us. So,
they're definitely
They went when our 20th anniversary. They went with us, and now we're closed in on my wife's 55th. Sorry, Joe. 55th birthday, and then my daughter's be turning 30, and my other one's graduating she's getting her master's. So all this is at one time. So we said, why don't we go somewhere? Yeah. And my wife, let's go back to Italy. I go, we've been here twice. Let's try somewhere else.
Don't go in late February or March, because
heck no. I'm not going there. I'm going when the weather's nice.
Well, I'm just saying, because I think one of these years there's going to be a parade here. And I think you should be on one of the first floats.
I will, without a doubt, I will cancel anything I had to make sure I'm at that parade. And it better happen.
That's awesome. Jim, appreciate the time, brother. So much respect for you, man.
I appreciate
you having me, and a great restaurant.
Oh, unbelievable. Thank you, bud. Good seeing you as always.
Appreciate you, man.
Yep, you got it.